Welcome to today's session on effective essay teaching strategies. In this video, we will explore practical methods to make essay writing easier, clearer, and more engaging for students. Let's get started. So, what exactly is writing, and what do we mean by an essay? When we put the two together, we arrive at essay writing, a powerful skill that not only tests students' understanding but also builds their ability to communicate ideas clearly. Writing is the process of using symbols like letters or characters to create texts that convey ideas, thoughts, or information. Now, when we talk about an essay, we mean a piece of writing that explores a particular topic, presents a main idea or an argument, and it supports it with evidence and analysis. So, essay writing is simply a structured way of putting our thoughts, arguments, and information together on a specific topic. Essay writing plays a vital role in student development and academic success. It strengthens their critical thinking ability and analysis. It also improves communication skills and it encourages creativity and expression. It builds self discipline and time management. Okay, so altogether, essay writing is much more than an academic exercise, it's a life skill. There are different types of essays, and each serves a unique purpose. A narrative essay tells a story, a descriptive essay paints a vivid picture of something or someone. An argumentative essay presents a claim with evidence to convince the reader. And an expository essay explains or informs in a clear, logical way. So, knowing these types helps students choose the right approach for each task. Alright, so the short activity I'm going to give you now is to work in pairs and write a brief recap on what you've learned so far. Okay, and then try and paste your write up on the board and move around to view others' write ups. And if you are doing this alone or by yourself, you can do it by having a recap of what you've learned so far and then compare it with what you've listened to know how far you've gone in your lesson. All right, so using an argumentative essay as our case study, we're going to look at what an argumentative essay is, and then we look at the structure of an argumentative essay. Okay, so an argumentative essay follows a clear structure, just as every other essay types. The only difference is that in the case of an argumentative essay, you have a counter argument. Okay, so and then when you write an argumentative essay, you expect it to take a stance, unlike other essay writing. Okay, so using this essay type as an example, an argumentative essay starts with a title, followed by the introduction and thesis statement. Okay, so we have the body paragraphs, which develop the argument with evidence. Okay, so a strong essay also considers counter argument and it includes a rebutter. Then finally, we have the conclusion, which ties everything together, reinforcing the main point. Writing a good essay is a process. Okay, so we have different steps that we can follow to come up with a beautiful and well structured essay. Step one, understand the prompt. The next step is to research and brainstorm ideas. Step three is to create an outline. Four is to write the introduction. Step five is to develop the body paragraphs. Step six, craft the conclusion. And the last step is to revise and edit. So by following these steps, students can approach essay writing with confidence. Just as you go to the market with your list of items, your outline also guides this essay type, following the essay types will also guide the structure of your essay, your before and after of the whole process. Okay. So let's look at the first step, which is understanding the prompt. The first step in essay writing is truly understanding the essay prompt. Students can use tools like flowcharts or mind maps to break it down. For example, when you have a topic Like technology is making kids smarter than lazier. Mind mapping helps identify keywords, arguments, counter arguments, and supporting evidence. So this makes the writing process clearer and more focused. All right, so this is an example where students think of how to go about the essay writing process. They think of, knowing what the meaning of technology is, and then one of the advantage of technology, which is what it contributes to intelligence development. And this is an argumentative essay where they need a counter argument. So if we are to look at the other side of technology, it could lead to like technology induced laziness. So this is a kind of a chart that the students think of before even diving into the stream of essay writing. Step 2 is research and brainstorming. Here, students gather information and they try as much as possible to organize their ideas. Mind maps help connect thoughts while research guides provide reliable sources. Okay, so this stage combines creativity with solid research to build a strong foundation for the essay. All right, here is an example of how a mind map can guide essay writing. Our topic is technology is making kids smarter than lazier. So we begin with an introduction and thesis. Okay, so then we add argument one, enhancing cognitive skills, and argument two, improving academic performance. We also consider a counter argument such as technology leading to laziness. But with a rebuter, we show that balanced use makes technology more beneficial than harmful. So this helps students visualize the flow of their essay before writing. So this fall under the pre-writing category where the student think it's more like they are trying to, hunt for resources. What do I need to put in place before I dive into the writing process? So I want to believe that you know what a counter argument is all about. That is a particular statement that kind of go against your stance. But then as much as you are trying to present a topic or a point that goes against your stance, you try again to bring in another point which will help you twist that point to your own advantage. It's more like you're saying, okay, there's nothing with an advantage without a disadvantage. But in as much as this is a disadvantage, it could also help you achieve this. So that is what counter argument does. You rebuild it to your own side to even strengthen your stance. All right. So one of the keys to a strong argumentative essay is using transitions and connectors. Words like firstly, in addition, and moreover help introduce new ideas. Or when you're trying to, state another point, in connection with what you have said earlier. All right. So on the other end, we have words like although, though, even though, while it is true that some might say, some might argue. You use this to, bring in a contrary opinion. All right. And even connectors such as therefore or as a result, they help bring on the other hand, although, though, even though are used to introduce counter arguments. We use them to introduce opposing points of view. You stated something positive earlier, and then you want to bring up a new point which is contradictory to what you've said earlier. So these are connectives that are perfect for such situation. And then the fact that we have connectives doesn't mean you can use one in any position. No, you use the right connective for the right paragraph. All right, so and then when you're adding a refutation, you can use connectives such as despite this, however, nevertheless, nonetheless, on the other hand, yet, and so on and so forth. And connectors such as therefore or as a result, in conclusion, in essence, to sum up, ultimately, they bring clarity to conclusions. So these tools make essays more persuasive and easier to follow. When creating an outline, it helps to plan each part of the essay. We might start with a hook, like a question or statistic about children and technology. The next, we provide background information and state the thesis. All right, so then comes argument one and argument two linked with connectors. So we also include a counter argument about distraction, followed by a rebutter that highlights moderation. And finally, the conclusion, which helps to restate the thesis and key points, showing that technology, when used wisely, enhances children development. So just as you go to the market with your list of items, your outline is just the perfect list you need whenever you have a topic, a essay writing topic at hand. So it helps you structure your essay properly. You wouldn't be writing and then you'll be short of ideas or what to do next, or write your points in a disorganized way. Right, so my activity for you is to create an outline on the topic. Outdoor play is better for kids than indoor play. Remember, this is not an essay. You are expected to write an outline, so it should be as brief as possible and not as detailed as you do when you're writing an essay in full. All right, so this is a sample of an introductory essay. Sorry, body paragraph one, I mean. So we have as technology. All right, so let's look at the paragraph we have on the screen. This is obviously the introductory paragraph. As technology becomes an integral part of our daily lives, are we witnessing a generation of students who are becoming more intelligent through digital learning, or are they at risk of becoming less motivated and reliant on technology for their task? This is a hook statement, and then we used a question to catch the reader's attention, right? To grab you, to drag you into the essay before we now move into the background and then the thesis statement. Okay, so that's one thing that the hook statement does. It grabs the reader's attention. No one loves to be questioned or to be challenged. So when you throw a question at your reader, you grab your reader's attention. They will be inquisitive. They want to know what is actually going on. And then we have, in today's world, technology is everywhere, and its influence on education is undeniable. With tools like smartphones, tablets, and educational apps, students have access to a vast array of information and learning resources at their fingertips. While some people worry that these digital aids might make students lazy or overly dependent, evidence suggests otherwise. So, from in today's world, to the part where we have otherwise, then we have the background statement. So then after that, we have technology, when used effectively, can actually enhance learning by making it more engaging and interactive. So this single statement we have here is the thesis rather. So it states the writer's stance. So it shows that obviously the writer is going to talk about the positive um effect of technology and not the negative. In as much as it's going to introduce the counter argument, the positive point will be more than the negative point. It's trying to be in support of the fact that technology do more harm than good in the life of our kids. And then we have the first body paragraph. After your introduction paragraph, we expect you to have your body paragraph one, body paragraph two. Sometimes you can have body paragraph three before your counter argument. It depends on how lengthy you want your write up to be. And then in some cases, you can have just body paragraph one, body paragraph two, then your counter argument. And then lastly, you have the conclusion. So the first body paragraph here, we have one of the most compelling ways technology benefits education is by enhancing cognitive skills. So this is the topic sentence. The topic sentence is the main point in that paragraph that every other sentences in the paragraph rest on. Okay, so the topic sentence has to be explained so that it will not just be hanging in the paragraph. So the topic sentence is being explained with what is known as supporting sentences. So you could use examples, facts and figures, statistics to explain your topic sentence. So we have educational apps, interactive simulations, and online games are designed to stimulate student thinking and problem solving abilities. For instance, apps that incorporate gamified learning experiences engage students in a way that traditional methods may not, making complex concepts more accessible and memorable. So, what is expected of you in your body paragraph is at least to have, you must have a topic sentence. Each body paragraph is expected to have one arc sentence, which is known as a topic sentence, and then the sentence is expected to be explained, probably with facts and figures, with examples, and those parts are known as the supporting sentences. Okay, so when you have the other body paragraph, so here, this is body paragraph 2, and then before we even come across our topic sentence, we have furthermore, which is a connective. So this shows that the point we're about to make here is going to be in support, is in connection with the previous point. So you're adding to the point stated earlier. Furthermore, technology provides valuable opportunities for self-directed learning, empowering students to take control of their educational journey. So this point here is another topic sentence. So every other thing you have here will explain the topic sentence. And then we go to the next body paragraph, which is paragraph 3. All right, so in this case, we have a common concern is that technology can lead to distraction and sedentary behavior among students. So if you have to look at this point, it is not in connection, it is not trying to add to the points we've stated earlier. This is more like a contradictory point. And that's where we have the counter argument. This point here is trying to state that technology is not all good at all times. If it is not well used, and then every necessary step is taken to restrict students, it can lead to distraction and sedentary behavior. So this is a counter argument, all right? So we have with the constant allure of social media, video games, and other online entertainment, students may find it difficult to concentrate on their studies and maintain focus during class or study sessions. So, all of this point is regarded as a counter argument. We're trying to state the negative side of it. But then, because you have to be strong and then you have to buttress your point, you need to maintain your stance appropriately. This particular point, needs to be refuted. However, moderation and guidance can effectively address these concerns, allowing students to reap the benefits of technology while minimizing its potential downsides. By establishing clear guidelines and schedules for technology use, educators and parents can help students balance screen time with other important activities. So, this is what is expected of you when writing an argumentative essay. You're expected to write your points and then state a counter argument, then refute it to buttress your point, to make your stance very, very strong. And the last paragraph, we have the conclusion. So the first connective we have here is in conclusion, which definitely indicates that this paragraph is the final paragraph. In conclusion, technology plays a pivotal role in modern education by significantly enhancing cognitive skills and fostering self-directed learning through interactive tools and education. So if you have to go through this body paragraph properly, you'll realize, the concluding paragraph, you will realize that there is no new points in this paragraph. It is meant to restate everything that has been stated earlier. Okay, but then you're not just using the same word, you're not repeating the same word. You have to paraphrase, and then it's a recap of everything you've said earlier in your body paragraphs. All right, so essay writing is more than just an academic task. It's a skill that builds critical thinking, communication, and creativity. By following these steps, using mind maps, and practicing regularly, students can write with confidence. Thank you for joining me in this session on essay teaching strategies. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Language Lab for more lessons. Until next time, keep writing, keep learning, and keep growing. Thanks for watching.